Texas Tech senior quarterback Patrick Mahomes might be the best quarterback you really haven't heard much about. The Heisman candidate threw for more than 4,500 yards, 36 touchdowns, and rushed for 10 more scores, joining Deshaun Watson as the only players in America to pass for at least 35 touchdowns and rush for 10 more last year. What about that Texas Tech squad? But check us out. Mahomes did it in 2 fewer games. And Cliff Kingsbury, kind enough to join us now here on SportsCenter. Obviously, going into the season, a lot of expectations. I wonder, Cliff, when you first took over and you had this plan of what you were going to do with the program, how far along are you on that plan, and are you still on track where you thought you would be?
I think we are. It's going into year 4. Most of the players on our roster now are players we recruited. They understand our culture, what we're trying to do. And so this spring was the most fun I've had since I've been there coaching. I feel like it's coming into place, and looking forward to the season. Even
with the start, you had those 8-win seasons, then you had a losing season back up to 7 wins last year. People see the first 2 seasons like, all right, we go from 8, we go to 10, we go to 12. Right. But you did have that dip. Is that just a necessary part of changing that culture that you were talking about?
I think as you're trying to build your program, it's a process. It takes time. And if you have a great first year, sometimes expectations rise, as they should. But that's the biggest thing I've learned. It takes time to get your pieces in place and get your program where you want it.
Every conference, we're talking about the Power 5 conference, everyone has an identity for the most part. What is it about the Big 12 that makes it so challenging to contend for a championship? Not only a conference championship, but also then represent your league trying to go for a national championship.
Yeah, I think we all play each other. You know, I think that's why nobody's gone through that type of schedule undefeated yet. You're not missing any games year in, year out. You're playing those 9 teams, and it's tough, but it's an exciting league. You play a lot of plays, you score a lot of points, and I think our fans enjoy it.
You score a lot of points, you give up a lot of points sometimes as well. Your defense has been plagued with that over the last couple of years. How important is that if you're going to get to that level where you're contending for national championships, that somehow you get those points down on the defensive side?
That's huge. And in our league, 18, 19 possessions, they're going to get their yards, but you got to somehow limit the points, whether it's creating turnovers, slowing them down in the red zone. But it's a difficult challenge. We have a lot of great offenses in the Big 12.
In your career, player movement has always been restricted from the NCAA. From your standpoint of how you've seen both sides of this, do you think players should have more leeway, so to speak, to be able to move to an environment that they feel comfortable?
Yeah, I can see both sides of it. You don't want coaches recruiting players even after they go to your school.
Right.
So if they have a bad game, they don't play. Here comes a Twitter message, hey, come play for us. I don't think that's good for the game, but I do think that players should be in the best environment possible. So hopefully we can find a happy medium.
You said you had a bunch of fun this spring, and we saw something from your Twitter account not too long ago in practice. It looked like a workout. Patrick Mahomes was like throwing like no-look passes. Is he like trying out for the basketball team as well, or is that just the type of guy he is?
He's just working his game. He's seen Aaron Rodgers do some of that. He'll look one way and throw the other, trying to move defenders. So he kind of worked on it in spring, and we'll see if he unveils it in the game. It's gonna take some guts to unveil it in the game. If he better complete it, if he does.
Now, do you support that type of creativity on the floor, on the field? Because everyone has a scheme and everyone's season, they try to do something to it, but creativity is something you can't plan for. Do you, as a coach, do you encourage that type of thing?
I do. I think if you can handle that type of play and you can make that type of play and it improves your game, go for it. And he's that talented of a player. I think the game has slowed down that much for him that he's willing to take some risks like that.
All right, you've been in Texas Tech now for a couple years, but for the fans around the country, to give them a little more insight into just who Cliff Kingsbury is, play a little game of What's In.
Okay.
You ready? What's in your iPod? What kind of music you listen to?
Right now would be Kings of Leon and Drake.
Okay. It's over here, but I get that. What's in your DVR list?
DVR, right now there's a show called Peaky Blinders that I like, and Mr. Robot on USA.
Okay, no Game of Thrones, no?
Yeah, the Game of Thrones is done though. We got
okay, all right, so you're in it. All right, my man. What's in your garage? What kind of car you ride around?
It's like a Lexus SUV. The university provides it, so I don't actually own a car. As soon as they told me I'd get a car, I sold mine, and I'm riding on the university.
What was the last car that you actually paid for with your own money? That's a good question.
It was a Range Rover back when I was playing and trying to be a baller.
I hear you. I hear you. What's in your travel bag? When you go on a road trip, what do you need with you?
I got to have the iPod and workout gear. Yeah, that's a must.
Got to get it in to fit that suit. I see.
Yeah,
you got to do that.
I got to stay on it.
Last question. What's in your wildest dreams?
I would say a mansion on the beach somewhere near South Beach.
I like that.
Yeah, that's
I like that. I would love to come visit once you get that.
We'll work it out.
Once you reach it, I'm down.
Perfect.
Cliff Kingsbury, thanks for coming out with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Best of luck this season.
Appreciate it.